Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. I'm kind of hoarse. My voice is kind of hoarse, so it's kind of hard to hear. But this guy here, we got this from Harbor Freight a while back, and I'm really digging it. It's got the cutter, the ring roller on this side, and then it's got the slip roller, and then it's got the finger brake right here. But really cool tool from Harbor Freight. But I'm gonna flip the, we've actually been using this too, using the piss out of this Beverly shear. Really nice, but I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you guys what I'm doing. So all morning I've been making patterns and patterns and more patterns and cardboard and paper and everything. So what I'm doing now is I took the original pattern for the doors and I actually built the doors. We're using those for $1, and then we're gonna build the real doors off of those. And I know this says passenger in, but this is, I'm using this for the, because both doors are the same, I'm just using the outside skin of the doors. And then I have this one slid all the way forward, so there's a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. And then what I'm doing is I'm gonna add, right here I put add 7/16, and I'm gonna run this all the way around, and then we're gonna do a wire edge on the door. And probably today I'll do a video on showing you how to do the wire edge, how we do that. And then as soon as I get this transferred to cardboard, and then I'll transfer it back to metal, and that will give me my skin, and I'll add 1 inch all the way around that door for the wire edge. And when I'm talking about wire edge, I'm talking about like a finished edge on the door, so that when you open and close the door, you don't have just a sharp metal, you know? And then so the edge of the door will look like that. And then obviously this gets spot welded all the way around. So the edge of your door will be like that. And that's gonna be Heidi's job. She's gonna be hammering her brains out, doing the wire edge on the doors. So I'm getting everything set up so I could do the outer skin. Oops, sorry about that. So I could do the outer skin on the doors. And then what that does is, I'll go over here. Glenn Rid from NZ Mopar and I and Heidi, we were talking about how we wanted to do it, so that now that when you have the wire edge, when you close the door, it'll match up perfectly right here. So it'll look really nice and clean. And then when you mud the car and sand it and block it and whatever, make it perfect, you'll just have an 1/8 inch seam all the way around. But the door will have a 1/2 inch or 3/8 lip with weather stripping right here. So when you close the door, it'll bump up to it. So I think we got the doors figured out. And then I already have the hinges and the strikers and everything are all right here. The striker kit and all that crap. And this will just get all painted or powder coated or whatever we decide to do with it. We're not sure yet. And then I'm building these pieces too. And I'm gonna go ahead and get those welded in probably now, but I wanna get the door shape cut out real quick so that I can start getting the doors wire edged and built and all that happy crap. And then right here you can see that it kind of bumps into the B-pillar. So, you know, I don't want to move the B-pillar obviously, so I'm just trimming the door skins, trimming it back a little bit, and that's why I got it where it cuts. I'm gonna cut an 1/8 inch off here and come down to 0. So I'll go like that, just kind of come in here, and then I'll get those all transferred to cardboard, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is what we got now. We made a cardboard template over there, transferred it to metal. We're gonna waste 1 sheet of metal, which I don't like to do, but this will get used on something on the car. But the problem is these, you can see right here, I had to add and subtract and, you know, all these different sizes and whatever and get it till it was perfect. So now I got this one cut out where I want it for the shape, and I got to round those edges right there with a grinder, clean everything up, and then I'll fit it into here. And when I get it to where it fits perfect in here the way I'm happy with it, then I will use that for the hard template to lay on this sheet metal here. And I will add 1 inch all the way around. And that 1 inch is where the wire bead is gonna go. So you'll have that wire bead edge, which will be like this. I just did a real nice one so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. And then that edge will be like this right here. It'll be nice and rounded and it'll be thick, and then that's where this weather stripping will sit right there. And you can see it's nice and straight. And how I'm gonna do that is that 1-inch line that will come off of this on the next sheet. That 1-inch line will be my spot where I lay my dolly and hammer and bring the sheet up. It'll be a pain in the ass on the corners because you gotta walk around those corners and run that wire bead right on there, but we'll make it happen. You know, it's metal. You can cut it apart and do it again if you need to. That's the good part about it. So I'll get this ground up and go from there. So what I'm doing right now is I have some really, this is kind of like a mock-up of the bottom part of the door, and you have these really hard turns, and they have to be brought up, not only a 90, but they have to be hammered all the way over for that bead, wired bead edge. And so what I'm doing is I have it set up in the, oh man, I'm tired. In the bead roller, and this is a tipping wheel that I built about 3 years ago. And this tipping wheel, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tip this edge up so that it's at a 90, and then I'll go a little bit farther after that, but I'll kind of show you the technique that I use to do that. Because a lot of times it's really hard to get a corner to bend straight up and then bend a little bit past 90. But you can see I ran it in there one time just to get the shape in there, and then I'll follow that from there on out.
So by tipping it, you're getting that stretch in there? And so it goes easier?
It stretches it up like this, and then when you go to a hammer, it will only bend on that line. It won't bend.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
So when you start hammering, once this is bent right here or broke, that line, when you bend it up, you start hammering, it'll actually bend right on that line. It won't bend out here or out here. So it'll bend right on that line. It makes it super handy.
That's pretty epic. I didn't even realize that.
You're cranking that way and just go nice and slow. You know what? I need my glasses.
You don't mind?
Nah.
I'm gonna get you to wear these one day.
Oh, I'll wear them. You know I will.
They're pretty fancy. Yeah, we usually
Go ahead.
only wear
Shut up. Turn the freaking wheel. Back up. Slow down.
Flexing, huh?
Speed up.
Shut up.
Go a little bit that way. Ah! Easy. Go. Stop.
Gosh, you're bossy.
Well, if you'd shut up and listen.
Oh my god. I just missed an important call
All right.
because of you.
When?
Just now.
Well, answer it.
No, it's not that important.
Well, then it wasn't important.
It was important. All my calls are important. What if it was one of your adoring fans?
Well, if it was Joey Collins, I'd say hang up. Slow down, woman. Ain't that fast. Go ahead. Go, go, go.
Go, go, Buffalo? Is that what you
Hey,
guys
slow down.
Oh my god.
Go. Now what I'm doing is I'm pulling up on that edge on the panel as I'm running it through the bead roller. Or as she's running it through the bead roller.
Yeah, I'm doing all the work.
And you can see what it's doing right now. It's bringing that panel up. It's raising the panel, raising the bar. And then that's that line that you'll be hammering on when you fold that edge over.
I'll tell that.
Who is it?
It's John.
Go ahead.
So it's flexing. Sure you won't?
Just shush. You gotta go slower though. You gotta like kind of cruise. Well, not that slow.
Just thumping it along.
Come on. Slow down.
You're never happy.
Slow, 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 slow. Go.
It's kind of tricky right here.
Come on.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you had it under control. Now can I go a little faster?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your fingers out the way, sir.
See, like right there, I ran off that bead.
You did.
But see what it's doing?
Oh, but it's
already
still-
bent. So like right here, I actually ran off the bead, you can see.
Yeah.
So there's two beads right there, or two lines where I ran that tipping wheel on there. But the line is already coming up, so it's not gonna hurt nothing. And that's what I'm talking about. Metal has memory, so as soon as it bends there, it'll just keep bending there over and over and over. And then now, I'll put it in a,
One more time, I think.
nah, that's it,
Sure?
that's all I want, yeah.
That's all you want?
So then what I'll do now is I'll tip this up all the way on, you know, with a hammer and dolly. And when I say dolly, I'm talking about a post dolly. So right now, all it depends on is what hammer you need. And see, like right here, obviously that is way more than this. So I need another dolly with that curve on it. So that's gonna be tricky.
You might have one or two that does
Yeah, maybe.
have something like that.
So the other thing too is once you tip it on that tipping wheel, and like I said, this is a practice piece because I wanted to make sure I get the tops or the sides of the doors on the car correct. But once you tip that in the tipping wheel, it's got that edge and you can actually feel it bump up to that dolly. And then like right here, this is bent a little bit where we put it in there. That's Heidi's fault. And then what I'm gonna do is I wanna take this and start running it on. I actually need a flat dolly, I think, because
I think you do, because you're gonna be stretching the metal, right?
yeah. And see, you could use stuff like this too. It could be a piece of pipe where you can run that around that like this.
If you have the right.
If you have that right radius, you know, and just use that to tip it down. So.
Is it close?
Kyle Wanagay's garage, Johnny, Utah. This is like your vice, isn't it? If you're watching. And then what I want to do is take this straight edge now. I should have flipped that around. Here, come over on the side, right?
Okay.
Over here.
No.
Over here! Oh!
Take one last look at him, everybody.
So, I'm gonna run that edge right there and tip this edge down as I go around, so.
Are you done talking so I can go closer?
And once again, if you guys watch what I'm doing, like in slow motion, I'm not hitting it straight like this, I'm going like this. And see what's gonna happen right here is I'm gonna have to bring a dolly in there and
Straighten
clean
it
up
off.
that edge because it's bending that down a little bit. You see how it's rounding it?
Yeah. Yep.
And this is the tricky part right here.
That's what I was wondering about.
This is where I'm gonna be fighting.
So if you don't go much further and you put that wire edge in there
Mm-hmm.
and just go around the wire edge, does that work?
Nope.
Okay, so
No, you still have
'cause
to
you're-
fight this right here.
no, I meant once it starts rounding, like this is round. If you were to stop like a few blows before that and then put the wire edge in and be working it on the table.
I mean, yeah, you can work it a little bit, but
Okay.
what you have to do with that is put a dolly here. If this was a dolly, you're gonna be hammering like this.
I gotcha.
All
I
the way
got
around
you.
that whole thing. So.
Thank you for showing. Because like, there's a lot of things that I learn legitimately as we're filming, like. Because
Stretches. And I want to shrink this. I'm so confused.
it's okay.
If you run this in the shrinker a little bit, as much as you can, it'll help it start to bend a little bit easier too. So, because what I'm doing is I'm taking that metal that's starting to compress and it can't go nowhere and it's starting to dimple up and everything. You guys have all seen it do that. But what I'm doing is I'm taking that metal and I'm pulling this. If you look at it like underneath the microscope, it's all strands, and I'm pulling those strands in tight. And then when you pull them like tight like that, you can bend them over easy too. So. Hopefully that makes sense. And you can see it's already starting to bend over just by putting it in the shrinker. Pressure shrinker.
Yeah, and that edge just got really clean too.
And then like this one, I'll just clean it up a little bit. And then I'll be able able to put it, or maybe I'll be able to put it in the shrinker.
I hope I'm making Joy Collins dizzy.
Yeah, right. Joey Collins is dizzy.
It's okay. Takes all kinds of
And
time.
see what I'm saying? It's
That looks great,
now it's
yeah.
starting to lay over.
So what do you do there? Wait. There.
Right where? Right the dimple?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm gonna run it around with a dolly.
Okay.
And stand this edge up. And this is the part where a lot of people give up on metalwork because you almost, sometimes you need to make a piece like what I'm doing right now. Instead of ruining the good piece and throwing the metal in the garbage, I took some scrap and I made the exact same shape as the bottom of the doors right here, like that, so that I could check to see what the metal's gonna do. Because a lot of times you don't know what the metal's gonna do, you end up ruining the piece, you get frustrated, you throw it in the garbage or in the scrap
Or
metal
you throw a
pile,
whole door away.
and you just wreck that whole door panel. So that's why I made this scrap piece to see how easy it's gonna be to raise this metal up.
Yeah.
Earlier today, I was messing with, this is 20 gauge sheet metal. And earlier today, I was using a 17 gauge, which is really thick. And we decided that it was a little bit thick for the door skins. And we ended up just saying, no, we're not gonna use that. And then Heidi helped me and we dug out some metal. I didn't realize we had some another full sheet of 20 gauge. So that's what this is here. But where people get frustrated is when you can't find the correct shape or the dolly or whatever. And that's why I was telling you guys, I always save all these shapes and sizes and whatever. You know, even old cannonballs, you know, just go down to your pharmacy and pick up some cannonballs. But I got a lot of friends that bring stuff over to me and they're like, you know, can you use this? And I'm like, hell yeah. If not, I'll throw it in the scrap metal pile. But you see right here, this is a piece of, this was off of like a forklift or whatever. This was a giant pin or off of a truck or whatever. And I just welded it to a scrap metal. And then that's a post dolly. But by having that shape right there, I can use it on the table just like this. And that's why it's flat on one side, so you can lay it in here and then hammer that out.
Oh, okay.
Now I lost my hammer again.
I'm sure you might be able to find one. Look, shameless plug, Herzog's Hot Rods. Way to go.
Yeah, there's a kid right there that's talented. The work he's doing right now is just amazing. If you guys haven't checked out Herzog's Hot Rods on YouTube, go check out his channel. And now you see what's going on right here?
Yeah.
That metal has nowhere to go, so that's what it's doing, is it's fighting me right now.
Right.
So you want to try to flatten that out and shrink it best you can. And
Do you tuck shrink it?
no, tuck shrinking's different. That's when you're doing like a flat panel.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is a tuck, but you got to shrink it, but it's not a tuck shrink. So I don't want to confuse people. So you flatten it back out best you can. And then shrink it some more. And I had somebody ask me just the other day, they were saying, you know, how much can you shrink this stuff? You can shrink it as much as you want. Like aluminum is a kind of a pain in the ass because what happens with aluminum is eventually it'll crack. On sheet metal like this thickness, I've never had it crack by shrinking it. So if you guys have, leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear the story about that. But, you know, when it's this thick like this, you know, I can't get it to crack. I just end up shrinking it, hammering it, shrinking it, hammer it, and just go from there.
Maybe they're just going too far.
Well, with the aluminum, it's easy to do, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it might seem counterproductive because you're hammering it flat to go around the corner, but it's, I've seen them do it on purpose.
So what's going on right now is this is just too much to shrink. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to make a wooden buck with some plywood or something like that. So I'll probably go buy a sheet of plywood that's about $800 a sheet right now.
That's perfect.
And because see what it's doing now? It's taking my edge.
Yeah, I see
It's
that.
dropping my edge down, so that looks like crap. You know, a guy could cut this and splice it, which I don't want to do that.
But honestly, if you look at a car door,
yeah, some of them have that.
the
So.
corners are notched.
But the other thing I could do is I could take the torch and heat this up so it's red hot and walk it around. And I probably won't do that today. Probably call this a video. When I'm doing some more of this, I'll film some more and show you what I got going on.
Yeah, we'll part 1, part 2 it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of a bummer. I'm bummed that I just wrecked that corner, but flatten it back out and get from there, you know?
I say, will you be able to flatten it out and reform it?
Yep.
So, oops, sorry, are you back? There you go. All right. Yeah, so you got it pulled back out to your line.
Yeah, but what I need to do now is get it to where it's hot, red hot, so that it'll come up.
I'm on team notch it out.
Yeah, but when you notch that, you lay that down like this, you got that big notch that's showing. You got to remember that when you open that door, that's going to show on the door of the car.
Yeah.
I'm on team, I don't want it to look stupid. So,
We'll see who wins.
yeah, whatever.
We will do it your
Hot.
we will do it your way.
But anyways, I don't know when I'll post this video, maybe tomorrow. We'll mess around with the torch and heat it, and then we'll try it with, see what we gotta do, if we gotta heat it, or if we gotta notch it, or whatever we gotta do. And if we notch it, the other way we can do is run a cut in it right here with these, and then when we notch it, bring it, when it folds over, we can fold that second piece, the notch over the top of
They
itself.
almost touch, don't they?
So that it goes like this, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can do with it and then go from there. But anyways, thanks for watching. Typical day at the shop. Trying to get something done and you have 10,000 people coming in bugging you all day. Drives me nuts. You guys ever have problems with that? You know, when you run a business, you run a company, and you're trying really hard to get something done, and it seems like every 15 minutes you got a customer beating on the door wanting to come in and talk to you about something. And it's like, you know, they think it's a freaking hangout, and it's like, get the hell out of here. Drives me nuts. So what I'm doing right now is I got a piece that I need to cut. I realized when I was trying to fit the door edges, I got like a little bow right in the top of this floorboard panel right here. When I welded it on, I never clamped it all the way down. So it's got a little bow. I got to cut the weld, get the weld out of the way, clamp it back down, or put a sheet metal screw in it and pull it down, and then re-weld it right on the edge, you know? So that's what I'm working on right now. This face mask is pretty trick. Like I said, I got this off of eBay. I got sick of stuff getting in my eyes every time I'd, you know, whatever safety glasses I was wearing. A lot of times I'm looking down like this and stuff comes up and hits you in the cheek and goes in your eye and whatever. So it's been a pain in the ass. So I got another face mask style that I want to get too, that I want to try out. So I figure I'll try a couple different brands out, you know. But so far so good. It works great. It's got this styrofoam stuff around it, so it kind of goes up against your face. I can see how when it's real hot, this would be a pain in the ass because it would be sweating on your face or whatever. But you know, I'd rather be safe about it and have something that's going to catch the stuff from going in your eyes too. So. Yeah, so that was the problem, is I had it right here where I welded it, and then right now I just cut the weld, and then now I can push it down and re-weld it, so it's gonna pull this panel down. And I never welded the section on the bottom of the door, or the door housing or door seal. I never welded it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll have Heidi run through here and have her weld all this stuff up real quick. And I'll just throw some sheet metal screws through there and pull it down so it can be welded. That way she can get in there and buzz through this thing and get it cleaned up. And we'll go from there. So I got frustrated with those doors, so I took a break from that just so it doesn't piss me off. And I got this piece here that I'm doing, and that's going on the inside on the back part of the column, or the center console, where like the drink holders and stuff go, and that's gonna go right here. And then I have Heidi over here welding. She's getting this stuff all set up. Trigger. There you go. Okay. She's learning. She's doing fine though. And then I made, this morning I was cutting these panels here, where you see the blue on the end. This is that door panel. And I'm making a template. And then I'm gonna use this as a hard template so I can add a 1-inch lip all the way around, or 5/8 inch lip. And then that'll be where my wire bead's gonna go in there. And then I'll wire bead the whole edge on the next 2 door panels. And then that'll give me the door panel for the left and the right side, the driver's side, passenger side.